Hey guys, and welcome to the Scale. In this video, I'll go over some of my favorite keyword research methods that are going to work in 2026. And I've plotted them in a way that the vertical axis goes from mass to niche and the horizontal axis from free to paid. So the right upper corner would be your paid tools with mass coverage when it comes to keyword research extraction, and your lower left corner would be your quote-unquote free and more niche keyword research methods. So let's get started. So let's go clockwise, starting from the traditional methods, and these are your Ahrefs, your SEMrushes of the world. And there is nothing wrong with Ahrefs or SEMrush. Those are the two industry leaders. The only problem that I have with those tools, well, there are two actually. The first one is that they can be very expensive. The second one is that everybody who has access to those tools has access to the same keywords. So all the SEO agencies are going to be using either Ahrefs or SEMrush. Where is the competitive advantage? So the biggest problem that I have is that those tools do not really provide any competitive advantage. Next up, it's not a tool per se, it's more of a holistic / approach kind of keyword research. So I'm not talking about specifically any keyword research tools here, but these are some of the approaches that one may take that are still going to work in 2026. The first one is the topical map approach. This is where you go on Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude. You collect a bunch of data. You can go to the search gap method to then free keyword research tools and use Google autocomplete, for example. So if we go bugs, so just like that, you end up with over 500 keywords that you can cluster in different categories. You can use other free keyword research tools on my website, like the YouTube autocomplete or the proxy keywords or the role-playing keywords, later on those. And then essentially you end up with a large topical map. Now, I'm not necessarily against a topical map. I feel that it should exist only when it comes to very niche down sites. Google prioritizes page rank versus site rank. So even though I don't think topical map is going to hurt anyone, you may end up in a situation where you've created a topical map, you've exhausted your niche with 1,000 something keywords, and then if the niche is fairly competitive, I'm not talking about overly competitive niches, but fairly competitive, you may rank for like 10% of the keywords, and you will not get any impressions or clicks for the other 90%. That is a pretty bad signal for Google. So if you're getting 0 clicks and 0 impressions for the majority of your keywords, that's gonna play down your authority in the eyes of Google. So I would rather you go super niche. One of the examples could be a broader niche of manifestation, and you're doing group manifestation as a sub niche, then go crazy on a topical map. Another holistic approach is the SEO Heist. Inside of my school community, if you go to student bonuses and then custom community tools, you get a tool called SEO Heist. And this is a very simple tool to use. You just go and type in your niche, which is docs. Then you input your competitor sitemap or sitemaps. You click on Start Analysis, and then you get a bunch of URLs from the sitemap. And then if you go to categories, you get them clustered into, in this example, docs, diet and nutrition, doc care, doc training, doc health. And then if you go even further to the content gaps, you get a list of topics that your competitor haven't written on. And this is an ethical way of doing the SEO Heist. The unethical way would be just stealing the keywords off of the sitemap. So if your competitor had a can docs eat wasabi, for example, you would just steal these keywords. But this is unethical. A much better way would be exploring content gaps. And I'm a huge fan of transactional keywords. And the main reason being, first off, they don't trigger the AI overviews as much as the informational keywords. And secondly, they have the underlying commercial intent. So if you were to prioritize, always go for the keywords that can actually bring you the goods, leads, money, customers, whatever. And I found that the absolutely easiest way of getting to those transactional keywords is using LowFruits. I've been using LowFruits for a while now. Let's go for something like, it doesn't really matter what we pick. So let's pick this one. It's just an example. And then if you go to the filters, you can filter by intent. So high intent, pre-purchase, post-purchase, and just like that, you've gotten yourself a lot of transactional keywords, low competition transactional keywords that you can target. So this is amazing. And this is the transactional keywords ideology / approach. Now, next one is search gap. You all know search gap, at least you should. This is in the heart of my search gap method course. And people are ranking like crazy, left, right, and center. You can watch my case studies, 3 here and 4 at the bottom. And basically, this approach teaches you how to find keywords before anyone else. We've got a lot of different methods of doing that. This is applicable to both local businesses and global businesses for product reviews, informational keywords. So everybody can benefit. And this is evergreen. So this will never end because Google will always need content. It will always prioritize content that nobody else has written on. So highly recommend you go check out the search gap methods. Then we have the AI-powered methods or approaches. And I like them all, to be quite honest. Going back to the search gap methods, free keyword tools, I have the proxy keyword tool, which is fairly simple. Say you have access to a quote-unquote proper keyword tool. I've been using the same example for a while, but it still works. So if you go to the HOF and then keyword volume checker, you arrive at this tab, which allows you to check up to 25 keywords, and this is going to be powered by SEMrush. So you can do your keyword research inside of this tool. You can then, or using my free Google autocomplete, you can paste in 25 keywords at a time. Here, you'll get a quote-unquote accurate difficulty reading. As a result, you'll have up to 100, for example, if you do this 4 times, up to 100 keywords with varied difficulty levels. Then you can get those ones with low competition and paste them here. This tool is going to analyze your seed keywords or keywords, and then it's going to suggest semantically relevant alternatives that are based off of your keywords with low competition. And this works wonders. Next one is the Programmatic SEO keywords. And this has been my staple. So if you know this website, which is trickfino.ai, which I sold a few months ago, I did amazing things using Programmatic SEO. My seed keyword was does tool name pass tool name. So an example would be does Jasper AI pass 0 GPT? And this way I could easily get up to 1,000 different keywords, and that worked. I'm currently working on a Programmatic SEO tool. For those of you interested, it's going to be part of my school community. It is most likely going to be part of my rapid ranking system, which already consists of 8 different keyword research methods. And I swear by this method. Last one is Roleplaying. And I'm honestly in love with this method. So it's available for free at searchgap method /roleplay keywords. What it does, it assumes a persona based on your seed keywords, and then it tries to mimic what that person would Google throughout the day from the beginning till the end at varied levels of awareness. And the keywords are amazing. So I've done videos on this. If you generate your keywords using this tool and then go to a tool like LowFruits, you will see that most of them are extremely low competition and actually have volume. So amazing. And the last two are the YouTube and Reddit mining. So for the Reddit mining, I always recommend Genspark. I have a few problems in my school community and I've done so much with Reddit over the course of this year or the past year, rather. I usually go to the deep research. And then the reason Genspark AI stands out is that they use a Reddit MCP. For those unaware, this is basically what allows Genspark to parse or fetch information from Reddit, and this is invaluable. So lots of amazing keywords came from Reddit, so do not ever disregard that method. And the same goes for YouTube. So I have this tool for my school community where you paste in the URLs based on a topic or a keyword, and then it's going to start the analysis. So let's just do one, for example. What you would want to do is to find a video with lots of comments. So let's just do me, popular. Let's just do this one. I'll paste this in. I'll click on Start Analysis. And this tool is going to analyze all of the comments, 96 in this example, and you can do multiple videos up to 10. And this tool extracted 20 questions, 20 transactional keywords, 20 main pain points, and then it went ahead and used this information to come up with lead magnet ideas, which is amazing. So one of my favoriteest keyword research methods ever. And there you have it, guys. So if I were to prioritize, I would say SearchGap, YouTube, and Reddit mining are my best ones. Then I love these 3 AI-powered keyword research methods, and I usually do transactional keywords. I don't do SEO Heist all that much. I like the idea of a topical map, but in practice, this has to be a very niche down, very laser focused niche for you to create a topical map and actually rank for the majority of those keywords. So go check out the search gap methods. It's amazing. Go check out my school community and the new pricing. As an added bonus, if you sign up for the school community, you get 50% off the search gap method course. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.